Five, four, three, two, one. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bella Talks TV. It's Amanda Bella here. It is the 1st of June. It's the first day of a new month. It is the first day of a new moon cycle. It's just new beginnings everywhere. And I'm so happy you guys are here with me. I am recording from my house today. I just got back from London. Just to remind you guys, I did laugh on my last episode about how I was called braggadocious about how much I travel. So I'm not going to go too much into my London travels, but it has maybe inspired me to kind of create a different show where I talk more about that personal side of things in life. So stay tuned for that. The good news, the great news is that I have 3 full weeks of being here in New York focusing on Bella Talks TV. So the show has been doing so good, expanding. Thank you all. If it's your first time here, this is a weekly countdown of reality TV's most talked about moments. So I want to get right into it this week. We have had a lot going on, and I mean, when does it ever end? But my favorite thing in the world is just at the end of one season, a new thing begins. Spoiler alert a little bit. I don't typically talk about anything non-reality TV related, but last night was the finale of Euphoria. I It took me a little bit to process it when I woke up today. I think I'm happy with how everybody ended up in the end because to me, it did make sense, unfortunately. Wish I didn't have to say that, but I felt like everything happened appropriately. And there were some wackadoo storylines and how they wrapped up everything that happened in everybody's lives. But for the most part, I guess looking back, it made sense, except for everything having to do with Rue. It was just too fantastical for me to wrap my head around it. But I'm reminding you guys for my YouTube video watchers, my Bellas, I have a little bit like I've been experimenting with my hair for a little bit, trying to get back to my natural hair color. And I had a girl come up to me at Whole Foods yesterday, and she did tell me I looked like Hailey Bieber, and it was not solicited. I didn't show her a picture and say, hey, but I mean, the picture that I showed her that was my inspiration. She was like, wow, I totally see it. And I'm like, way to gas me up and make me feel even more delusional. But it just kind of like had to be done. Let me see if I have the pictures. Yes. I'm am I crazy? Am I crazy? I mean, you can't really see it. Okay. Yeah. It's not that exciting. But yeah, I see it. I see the I see the resemblance. So yeah, thanks for everyone watching on YouTube. If you're here watching the video, if you're here just listening, buckle up. Okay, guys, I want to get right into my top 5 countdown this week because it's a doozy per usual. I mean, the things that go on in the Bravo sphere and beyond, like I don't even have enough time in the day to talk about it. So let's get right into my OMG moment of the week. I hope that you guys have all been joining me on this journey, which has been Perfect Match on Netflix. It is the newest season has came out, and I talked about this on my Instagram stories. So if you guys are following me at Bella Talks TV, you've seen a little bit of my theory about this before. But there's something about these shows where a specifically dating format where you're taking people who have been on other reality TV shows, Too Hot to Handle, Squid Games. I mean, they're pulling people from the Netflix cinematic universe. And I mean, Too Hot to Handle, Perfect Match, Love is Blind, Queer Love. I mean, not Queer Love, The Ultimatum. I would actually love to see more of the people from Ultimatum on there. Temptation Island. We have some Bachelor people. We even had a Married at First Sight Australia member. So these are all people that kind of came from dating, except for Mackenzie from Squid Games. But everybody kind of came from like the dating reality TV background. So then they're bringing back kind of these fan favorites in this show and getting people to do a dating style show where it's kind of like Bachelor in Paradise, where if you don't pair up and you're not in a couple, then you don't get to stay there. So every night, everybody has to match up. You have to find somebody in the villa to do a match with every single night. If you don't match with anybody, then you have to go home. Now, what I found interesting this year is that they switched up the strategy because they could see that people were getting too smart for it. And this goes back to the GOAT of Netflix reality TV, the girl whose face would definitely be like the George Washington of Netflix reality TV, which would be Francesca Farrago. And we know her from Too Hot to Handle, and she really just took the Netflix cinematic universe by storm. And then when she came into Perfect Match, she matched up with Damien from Love is Blind, and they were the first couple they were the first, I don't want to say couple, they were the first people to come into this new format. This was season 1 too, so they had already figured out how to play the game before the seasons had even aired before, so they were, like, really, really smart for coming up with these, like, alliances that they did. But Damien, who, again, come with me on this journey, Damien was engaged to Love is Blind, the season 1 Giannina, who Giannina is now engaged and is in a relationship and has a baby with Blake Horston from Bachelor. So, I mean, it just goes on and on, you guys. The way that all of this interweave of all these dating people, I love it. I live for this. So, on this show, all these people are getting together, and then there's somebody in the villa that is their perfect match. Now, it used to be based on like data, and you were really supposed to be trying to find the person in the villa that you were the most compatible with, and you were supposed to be dating people that you didn't think that you would normally go for, because the idea was that you're really supposed to be getting to know people on a different level. They're also doing compatibility challenges, and then when they do the compatibility challenges, the couple that wins gets to go into something they call the boardroom. And there's a huge digital board with all the players' faces, and then they get to set up people on dates. They get to decide who to bring in and out of the villa. And again, it all comes back down to who gets matched up at the end of the night. So if you don't get matched up, then you have to leave the villa. Now, again, that was a strategy that people kind of started to figure out. So they were matching up with people just to stay in the house. And now this season, it was much different, where they allowed the people that were coming into the villa to choose who they wanted to date and match with and stuff, so it kind of threw everybody off the game. It didn't give everybody the same control as the previous seasons. So they did try to throw some loopholes into it this season to get it to not be such a game that can be played. Now, another thing that they changed, I believe this season, I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and fact check myself, but I believe there used to be a cash prize, and now it's just a all expense paid trip. Because I think they were like, okay, that we can't just be giving money to people strategically. Like, this is supposed to be a love show. So if you're not here to find love and find your perfect match and go on a vacation with your winner, then you shouldn't be here, because that already no, Damien and Francesca still would have wanted to have the trip because they were real friends. Like, they would just go on the trip together and probably bring, but I digress. Francesca was in a secret relationship when she went on to the show. You get cast on the show on these, and then if you're in a relationship back home, this happens with all these shows, by the way. A lot of this has been going on even with the Real World. The original villa was the Real World house. And people would go on the show, have girlfriends back home, boyfriends back home, and they would just have that phone and, the communal phone. There was no other way to keep in touch. Later seasons in the Real World, they had access to email and stuff like that. So if they did have a significant other or whatever back home, they could keep in touch with them. So this is nothing new, you guys. People go on these shows with people back home that they're dating all the time and be like, it's just a show, babe. I'm going on there to win the money. I'm going on there to be on TV, get the paycheck, etc. So to make a real show about real dating and people being there for the real reasons is really, really hard. That's what the perfect match is about. Now, this season, we had Allie Luber of Vanderpump Rules fame show up on this show. Now, I did not expect to see a Vanderpump Rules person on a Netflix dating show. I just was not expecting that, but I was welcoming it with open arms because I know the show is messy and I haven't been a fan of Allie. So I'm like, let me just watch her on here and see if I like her, like in a different environment, on a different show with a different cast. And no, I actually hated her even more. And it made me really, really dislike her. And I'm not even going to say these things because, at the end of the day, I am a girl's girl and I do not want to support DJ Demon James Kennedy in any sort of way, but it's clear to me that Allie was definitely just using him for clout, using him to be on Vanderpump Rules and to get her to the place where she is today. So sis, it worked. But we also saw her pop up on Southern Hospitality. I mean, she's been on other reality TV shows. I believe this is her 4th reality TV show. So I think it's just clear now looking back that she never really loved James. And for that reason, I feel a little bit sorry for him, but don't get it twisted. I don't actually feel sorry for him. So Allie goes on this show and she falls for, okay, well, now looking back, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but also I'm going to be giving spoilers. So if you don't want to know what happens, don't listen, pause now, fast forward. But Allie goes in there and she's everybody gets to the first day, and it's people, like I said, from Temptation Island, from Love Island, or Temptation Island, yeah, Love Island, Love is Blind. Like, it is a serious mix of dating people. Allie gets there. Everybody's there on the first day, and Jimmy Presnell, who is the guy from EpiPen fame, from Chelsea Fox, or Chelsea, yeah, is that her name? Megan Fox, but the girl was Chelsea that he matched with on Love is Blind. Famously, Chelsea told Jimmy that she resembled Megan Fox. When they did the reveal, Jimmy stared directly into the camera, very Jim from Office style, being like, oh my gosh, she does not look like she said she did. It was a very awkward reveal. They went on to break up. They're still friends, which I think is great. Jimmy went to Turkey and he got himself some hair plugs, came back with the glow up, and now he's here to find love. He thought he found it with Allie. Now, Jimmy being from Charlotte and Allie being from Charleston, I actually do see why they kind of gravitated towards each other, because in the outside world, it could work. When these people go on these shows, sometimes these people from all over the world, they like to bring people in globally, internationally for these dating shows. And it's like, if you fall in love with somebody who's halfway across the world, like, you just are not going to have that great of a chance. Like when they have Love Island USA and they bring in somebody from the UK, like Charlie, it's like, well, who's gonna, unless he's moving to the US, I don't like necessarily that they do that. It's just too much of a curveball. But in the case of this year, it actually worked, you guys, because they brought in, like I said, somebody from Married at First Sight, who, one of my favorite shows of all time, Married at First Sight Australia, Dave, he got cast on here. And then Sophie, who is from Love is Blind UK, have an incredible, adorable love journey on this show. And they go on to win the show. And they were my pick. So I was really, really happy. I was crying on the plane back from London watching Love is Blind. So I was really happy they won. Now, back to Allie. Allie and Jimmy, they have kind of like a torrid love affair, because in the beginning, I believe Allie chose him much like she chose James, because that was her, she could tell Jimmy was really into her, and that was going to be her way to stay on the show, win the show. You want to be on the show as long as you can, obviously. Along that, with that comes fame, notoriety, clout, etc. Brand, like, who knows what it could lead to. So she wants to stay on the show. She chooses kind of Jimmy. I can see right through by like episode 3, I can tell she's not really into Jimmy, but she knows that that's her best route, and that he's more into her than she's into him. So it's a safe bet. But in true fashion, like these shows do, just like in Love Island, it's very, very similar to Love Island. It's very Love Island coded this entire show. But and Nick Lachey is still hosting, which I love, because Vanessa's not there. And like Nick Lachey solo is great. But he, they're doing the show, everything, there's the challenges, there's all of these things that happen. And it's very clear that Allie and Jimmy, are pairing up strategically. I believe that Jimmy was really into her this whole time, but he makes one mistake where he says something about the show being a game. And I don't blame Allie and the rest of the women. All of their ears perk up and they're just like, Jimmy's not here for the right reasons. Like, he obviously is looking at you, Allie, because he sees, I think that there's a potential that I'm being, played here, and that Jimmy was doing the same thing to Allie that Allie was doing to him, and they did not have genuine feelings. But they said, I love you, you guys. They were intimate. They seemed like, through the ups and downs of the show, that they had something really going on. But like I said, in like episode 3 or 4 or 5 or something, they do something very Casa Amor coded, where the girls and the guys switch for the villa. They bring in all the female and male singles, and they make everybody do a day where they get to all mingle. And it's supposed to be kind of like a day. Now, most of the couples, when this happens in Casa, you make kind of an agreement. You're either going to be open with the other girls and explore for the day, and if you come back together, you're better than ever, you're stronger, and you're locked in. Or you stay, or you're supposed to not be open, and then the other person goes on the other side of the villa and cheats, basically. Or they're open and they find somebody they have a better connection with. So there's like 3 routes it can go. Well, it just did not go well. This thing really messed up the house. I mean, one thing I have to say about this is that for seasons and seasons and seasons, they've done this thing where they've switched the casas, right? And the men have historically fucked up every single time, cheated, lied, deceived. The women, finally, I have to give credit to Love Island USA season 6. I think Leah, Janae, and not Olandria, Janae, Serena, and Leah. I think that they banded together to finally get fuckboys around the world to understand, like, you cannot play with us in our faces and expect us to actually stay with you anymore. So one small step for womankind, one giant leap for womankind. So now the men don't cheat when they go to the casa. They all keep their word. They all do not remain open. They don't kiss any of the other women except for Dave, who Dave and Sophie had an agreement and it worked out well for them. It made them stronger. Like they won. So, and then the girls all go and cheat because they think the guys are going to cheat. So they're like, well, the guys are going to do it anyway. We might as well just make out with everybody. So Allie goes on like a full bender, which I do believe she was overserved in every single one of these episodes, but I can't really give that her full excuse because she is blacked out completely in one episode. It was really, really hard to watch, but it was also compelling reality TV. Because at the end of the episode, like I said, you have to match up with somebody at the end of the night and somebody has to go home. And she refuses to match and choose somebody. So she's there she met Hashim, who was from Love Island. So that in that day where Jimmy and her split up for the day, Jimmy goes and he doesn't do anything. He ends up telling Allie, like, no, I basically sat and thought about you all day and like didn't kiss anybody else. And she was like, fuck, she had made out with Hashim all day. Okay. Then Allie decides, oh my gosh, it's just so bad, you guys. Basically, Allie has Jimmy and Hashim them both in the house. She refuses to choose between them. She's getting wasted. She can't handle this show. Like she's like almost like not just in the mental capacity to be able to be on this show. Which Kinetic content, is always called Kinetic Entertainment, whoever is, again, the production company of Love is Blind, Perfect Match. It's scary. I would never sign up for one of these shows ever, allegedly. So Allie and Jimmy, they have this whole thing. Eventually, Allie does have an opportunity to go on a date with Jimmy. They clear the air. She sends Hashim home, and then she ends the show with Jimmy. So there are a bunch of other couples and other things going on Perfect Match. You guys should really go watch this season. But this was the main through line and the most talked about moment from the season. So to win Perfect Match, everybody that was in the villa comes back for a reunion style jury at the end of the season. And whoever wins Perfect Match is based on a unanimous vote from the people in the villa. So it's kind of like a miscongeniality. And everybody votes and that's who wins. But before they vote, it's kind of an open floor for anybody, like a town hall session, to say anything that they have, any dirt, any tea, any behind the scenes gossip, anything that didn't get said before they choose the winner. So it can get really messy. People will start calling each other out for all kinds of different shady behavior and things that were going on in the house that we didn't necessarily know, and secrets and alliances and stuff like that. It really does get really messy. But then why does Hashim decide at this moment to say, okay, before everybody votes, because I think that he was thinking maybe Allie and Jimmy were going to win because they had this like huge thing. And it's also very like, you're supposed to it's very Love Island coded also, where you're supposed to test your relationship. You're not supposed to just be closed off the whole time because that's going to be like too strategic. You're supposed to go out, test, and then if you come back and you win organically and people believe in you, that's great. So I think that Hashim's thinking everyone's going to vote for Allie and Jimmy because they ended up coming back together in the end and they are so cute and they could really work in the real world. So he's like, okay, I just want to let everybody know that before you guys vote that me and Allie were intimate. And I'm just going to let Allie speak on that. And Allie decides at this moment to just tell Jimmy straight up, whisper in the mic, I gave him head for 10 seconds. And then those nasty, dirty producers do a flashback to the camera, Summer House style, above the bed, and Allie's under the sheets. Personally, I don't think I would ever show my face again, but she did. I don't know if we get a reunion for this show. I was very confused because people were talking about the reunion, but I don't think there's going to be one. I think that the reunion, it was just the jury, that the finale where everybody was sitting there together. But oh my God, you guys. Okay, so anyways, that was my number. That was my OMG. That wasn't even on my countdown. My OMG moment of the week. Perfect Match, Allie's performance, Hashim, Jimmy, love triangle. God bless. All right, let's move on to my LOL moment of the week. This one's kind of just a silly and short one, but I thought it was just like a cute little thing that was going on this week. So DORIT'S having her book launch. All right, the book is coming out. It's called Unburdened. I've talked about it a lot. All right, I am a big Dorit fan. Dorit's on her book tour. She releases where she's going to be, what dates, where you can come, get your book signed, buy a book, meet her. I should be doing this, by the way. Note to self, if she's coming to New York, I got to find out. I would love to meet Dorit. So first of all, she releases the tour, the book tour, and all of the times just say Dorit Standard Time. So basically, playing in, making a dig at herself, and just leaning in, tongue in cheek. We know Dorit is late, so if it's supposed to be at 4:30, she'll get there when she gets there. I loved that. I thought that was funny. I think it's like if you can't be self-deprecating and make fun of it, what are we doing? She doesn't take herself that seriously at the end of the day. Like some of those Real Houses of Beverly Hills, cough, cough, Erica and Kyle. So the other funny thing I thought that was so cute about this is that she sent out everybody PR boxes. I mean, not that I was expecting to get one, but it would have been great. I wonder if I could just email and ask. I might just do that. Just be, can I get one? So Dorit sends out her PR thing. It's her book, but then it's also her drink, you guys. A bottle of Grey. Oh no, I think it's Belvedere. Belvedere, short glass, 3 lemons, carcass out. That sounds delicious and refreshing right now. So I just thought that was so cute. I thought that Dorit was great, making fun of herself, making fun of her drink, making fun of her being late. Like, I'm going to buy her book. I'm going to read it. And I'm going to come back and let you know how it goes. I love Dorit. Okay, so let's get into my top 5 most talked about moments of reality TV. Let's do it. Okay, speaking of Love Island, you guys, my number 5 most talked about moment of the week has got to be the fact that Love Island is premiering tomorrow, June 2nd. It's going to be, wait, is it not tonight? Let me just check while I'm like releasing this Love Island premiere. Island USA premiere. June 2nd. Yep, I was right. So tomorrow, June 2nd, is going to be the official beginning of the new season of Love Island USA. I will be watching every single night and talking about it as much as possible online. Follow me at Bella Talks TV. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, follow, hit the whatever. I'm like the worst influencer ever, but just please follow along. So they announced the cast. I personally do not find a single one of them attractive, none of the women or the men. So I'm hoping that the bombshells are going to come in and just be shaking shit up all season because the core cast are fugly. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. I'm sorry. The girls, I'm sure, are great, but Kenzie already has had Trump problems. She's got Trump problems. Of course, she's from Georgia, so there's pictures of her at like parties with Trump stuff. Then we have VASANA, who I knew right away. It's so funny when you have like just an intuitive feeling. I'm going through the cast. I'm posting my first impressions. I post my first impression of VASANA. I said, this girl's one to watch. She looks like trouble. Not 24 hours later, she's already being removed from the villa because videos of her, 2 videos of her from 8 and 9 years ago. One saying the N-word while singing in a car, the other saying the N-word while playing a game in an arcade have resurfaced. She gone. So she just kind of looked, I don't know what it is. They stereotype so hard. And if you guys haven't noticed, there are specific casts that they typecast into this type of situation, like the blonde from the South, the black. Okay. This year we have a black single father. Last year we had Hooded, the single mom. This year we have Beatrice, who has the amputated leg. There's just always things going on that are trying to do to switch things up in this. Now, I personally loved last season so much. People thought it was too toxic, too crazy, whatever. I was in deep. I was a big Iris fan. I was a big Pepe fan. I was a big Amaya Papaya fan. I did not like Nicolandria. So that's just where I stood coming out of last season. Now, the fact that Love Island already has gotten somebody removed from there, like, it's so funny. The other day I was on TikTok and I still follow Sierra Ortega. Okay, you guys, I'm not proud, but I didn't realize, and I'm really not like that active on my TikTok. I just go on there to kind of like lurk. But I did see the other day Sierra post a video and she's telling this story about how she's in Europe. She's got very heavy luggage. She's trying to put it above her head on the train. She loses it and it falls on elderly women. Old elderly women taking the train, it injures them, and then she almost gets arrested. She has no remorse. She is laughing about it. Like, she's sick in the head. And I actually wrote a comment. I was like, girl, these stories, the fact that you're still out here talking about yourself, like, I would go into hiding. You sound insane. I just don't like her at all. So I do think sometimes like we get these people removed for a good reason. I'm going to assume that this Vasana girl is trash, did not deserve to be there. And I actually like when they take people out of the villa. Good. Don't waste my time. Now, I can't wait to see what's going to be going on over there. I think that means that they literally just started filming yesterday. So we're going to see tomorrow what they filmed yesterday. And then from there, it will be on a 24-hour delay. I love Love Island season. I love this. What do you mean every 24 hours I'm about to have a new Love Island to watch? So I'm not going to give too many other details about the cast. You guys can go to my Instagram. I'll post them. And just again, my initial thoughts, but like I have low expectations for this season, which means that it's probably going to end up being obsessive. Like, how am I going to be able to care about these people? I mean, when I saw the pictures of everybody last year, too, when I saw a picture of Ace, was I like, oh, look at this guy? No, but that was my guy. I was a menace last year. I was team menace. So we're just going to have to see what happens this year. All right, let's move on to my number 4 most talked about moment of the week. I loved this moment. I was knee slapping. Maybe this should have been my OMG moment of the week. I think it was. I think I moved a couple things around, but it's a good one. Okay, so at the end of summer or at the end of Southern Hospitality last season, or no, the end of Southern Hospitality, it was the finale this last week. So they have a big Republic staff meeting. It's kind of the finale. It's a Mardi Gras theme. Everybody's there. The whole staff is there. And just to reflect on this season, I think I'm a Maddie and Joe apologist. Like, just how I love Marciano and Jesse, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and Vanderbilt Villa. I just kind of love Maddie and Joe. They're just like, I'm rooting for them. I love them both individually. And I know that being a big Danielle Oliveira fan, she's probably not gonna be happy with me if you're listening, girl, that I do love Joe Bradley, but I can't help it. Like, anybody that sleeps with Luann and just has such a good sense of humor about it, and, like, they all laugh about it. Like, remember that scene when they were tubing and Joe talks about it? Oh my god, you guys, I love it. They love it. Maddie loves that Joe slept with Luann. So, but at the end of this last episode, they do the reunion trailer. And I'm not like the biggest Mia fan ever, but I know that she's a huge fan fave. I also thought that she had like a fake breakup. I hate when they do the fake breakups for the season and they get back together at the end. So her and Troy, her being single all season, and then Troy, she lied. Looking back, she lied, and I hate this. I hate when our reality TV fans are not authentic. Her and Troy did not really break up. They just, whatever, paused for filming. Then he comes in on the finale, and they're making out, and they're better than ever. So whatever. She doesn't need to be on the show. I think that's the point. We need to get her on Southern Charm, I think, is the point I'm trying to make, is let's transition Charlie, Mia, and Justin into Southern Charm. Or the opposite, where Mia onto Southern Charm and then swap where Charlie goes on to Southern Hospitality with Justin. Either way, I just don't see why Mia is there. I think Mia and Madison, oh my God, I have to make a meme about this. Mia and Madison, they need to be together. They need to be a dynamic duo. Okay, so at the end of the finale, they show the reunion trailer, and it's a clip where Michaels and TJ are saying that Mia slept with West. And Mia says, I didn't sleep with West. And no, they're confronting her exactly what the clip is that they're bringing up the fact that Mia allegedly told Sally Carson to sleep with West because the D was so good. Which means she slept with him and then Sally did sleep with him, which was then confirmed, I believe it was September 2025. Or no, I think it was October 12th or something, 2025, that then Sally and West did hook up. So end of September was the Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras thing was like September 12th. And then 1 month later, but oh my gosh, I love a good timeline, you guys. Don't we all just love a good timeline? I love putting this all together. So Mia slept with West when Amanda and Kyle went to the anniversary dinner. Then Sally slept with him the following month. Also, sidebar, Sally posted a video with Craig and Shep hanging out together. The three of them are going to be the new Tres Amigas. They're going to be the new Carlito, Danielle, and Hubhouse. I'm here for it. Oh, I'm here for it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to Charleston. I can't wait to get to Charleston Fan Fest. I'm so excited. So excited, you guys. And I'm going to be there. It's going to be great. Okay, I can't get too sidebarred today, but that's going to be a really, really great thing. Okay, so at the end, they show the clip of the reunion. Again, Mia's being accused of saying that she told Sally to hook up with West. She denies it. And then Leva calls her out right there in the moment on the reunion and says, I was there when you told Sally that. Gagged. Then Mia takes to her social media. She's like, I'm sorry, this was before West was so diabolical and gross. Girl, it's okay. We all make mistakes, but it's good that she was probably the first, because then it probably went Mia, Sally, Amanda. So, yikes, yikes on bikes. All right, let's move on to my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, which is gonna be all about KJ and Dara and their recent this is all speculation, but it looks like they have now broken up. So, I don't wanna get in too deep on speculating about what's going on with KJ's mental health because he did reveal in Summer House Part 1 that he was accepted or admitted into a mental health facility for self-harm and that he needed to go basically on a psychological watch. So, it seems like he's doing better now, but then unfortunately it seems like Sierra had an event for DSW and everybody was there. Bailey, Carl, Jesse, Levi, the whole cast of Summer House was there. And KJ and Dara were there too. But unfortunately, right after that, later that night, KJ deleted all pictures of Dara from from his social media. And then he also released a really insane music video the next day. And I'm really wondering if KJ did say, and I would have to go back to fact check again, but I do believe he said he was either bipolar 1 or he was diagnosed borderline personality disorder. I have a degree in psychology and I do know both. I just don't wanna speak too much until I go back again and fact check. It's really not the point. The point is that we know that KJ is struggling with his mental health, and it's probably just not the best time to be in a new relationship, also while you're being in the public eye. So, I just don't know if Bravo reality TV is gonna be the space for him. I just want the best for him and his mental health. He's living in New York. There's so much other opportunity here. Go model. Like, you don't have to be on reality TV. So, I just really want the best for him, but I had to bring that up because it is a huge story, and we don't really know exactly what's going on. They haven't actually confirmed if they have broken up. He did release a video saying that you can't love somebody else until you love yourself. So I think that was confirmation, but we haven't heard from Dara yet. So I think we kind of are. I'm glad that she's respecting him, but clearly something did happen there. And let's just all take a moment here to send KJ some mental fortitude and strength to get through the rest of the reunion airing. And I personally would not like him to come back to Summer House. Not that I want to take opportunities out of a black man's mouth, but I just do not. I think that we have to protect our people sometimes. And I just don't know if he's here right now. If he's out getting help now to hopefully get him to a place where he can then be strong enough to come back to Summer House, but I'm just not sure. I mean, they have not confirmed the Summer House cast at all for next season. So that brings me right into my number 2 most talked about moment of the week, which has been the resurgence of Kelly Dodd, which I feel bad that I think I might have summoned her. But we had Kelly Dodd show up again, you guys, in our headlines and then in my mind and also not in our hearts, but Kelly Dodd this week, you guys, has been making headlines because she's now involved in a revenge porn case. And I guess allegedly that there's proof that she had videos of, I believe it could potentially be her brother's wife or her ex-husband's girlfriend or some kind of female in their atmosphere, a video of her having sex and masturbating, potentially, allegedly, that Kelly then sent around. And I guess there's a lot of proof of this. And Kelly's pleading not guilty. But then on top of that, we had in the recent most episode of In the City, which again is this new Summer House spinoff, we have Lindsay dating again, post Turner, post baby. And they're having a welcome to New York party for Whitney, who is Kenny's girlfriend from The Bachelor, that's moving to New York from Minnesota. And they're having this party. And Andrea Denver, yes, Andrea is part of the show with his wife, Lexi. And Andrea brings this guy to set Lindsay up on a date with, and his name is Frank Acosta. He's from Michigan, which right away I perked up, had to Google. And he has a milk and dairy company, which was basically like a farm to table or a farm to retail place where he was getting eggs and milk from, I think, Michigan cattle farms in New York stores and restaurants and stuff. It actually was a great company and he's worth a lot, I think. I think he is very successful where it's in this dairy thing, but he also dated Kelly Dodd. So like all roads lead back to Kelly Dodd in this moment. So she has ties in with In the City and what's going on over there in Summer House. And then she also is in the mess what's going on in the OC. So I'm curious if, I mean, a lot of people have always been calling for her to come back, but she is toxic sludge to me. I don't want her anywhere near my television. She's like a Jen Shaw figure for me. Some people are just too gross for Bravo. But I just thought it was crazy that like there were two stories about her coming out in the news this week and that I potentially broke one of them because I really was on exposing Kelly being the one that dated Frank Acosta. And now Lindsay's going to be going on a date with him next episode. So we're going to have to watch and see what happens. I'm loving In the City. I have a very hot take that I thought Kenny ate in his fight with Lindsay. I think he was very calm, cool, and collected and very clearly told Lindsay, like, why is it fair for you to sit up and judge everyone else's relationships? I don't care how much of a Lindsay Hubbard defender you are. She was judging Kenny and Whitney in that moment for moving too fast, just like she does with everyone else when she is the one that's having random babies with random guys in New York that she's not even dating. So why is it okay for her to move fast and get what she wants out of life, but not everyone else? And that is the problem I've had with her since day one, is that it's okay for her to do things and not okay for other people to do them. She's a hypocrite at the heart of who she is. She's just a big hypocrite. And that's why I have a problem with hypocrite house, hip house, hub house. So, anyways, that's a perfect way for me to segue into my number one most talked about moment of the week, which is the Summer House Reunion Part 1, taking the world by storm. 0.99 million viewers live on Tuesday night last week. That doesn't include all of the post-streaming numbers, including Peacock and etc. I watched on Amazon Prime because I had to buy the episode while I was in Europe last week. I was freaking out. I wasn't going to be able to watch the reunion, but I did. Now, the reunion's been talked and beat like a dead horse for the last 6 days since it came out, but I just would be remiss not to talk about it and the things that happened in it. For me personally, my biggest takeaways were West talking about the fact that the nudes were leaked. He was aware of it when he was sitting there. He was trying to say that he was hacked when we know, like, if somebody hacked his phone, wouldn't they get so much better, juicier information, text messages, locations, etc., to prove way more of a situation that was going on? Number two, the fact that they had the leaked audio. Now my tinfoil hat is on because the leaked audio, you guys, specifically leaked the part where they're talking about Amanda allegedly having a video of herself out there, a promiscuous video that was going to expose the affair. And that was why they had to rush to put the statement out so quickly, because they were afraid the pictures of the videos were going to be seen first. Remember, there was the whole rumor that there was like a private investigator. So is that true? I need answers still. Was there a private investigator involved? Did they edit that part out for legal reasons? And then did the leaker do that on purpose so that we would still know that? Because thank you. Part of me really is thinking that Bravo leaked it on purpose, you guys, because there were certain things that they like couldn't do legally, but that they still wanted us to know. And if somebody really lost their job over this, chef's kiss. Thank you for your service. Another thing that came out of the reunion was Bailey calling out Ben. I could watch that on repeat every single day. Bailey calling out Ben for reprimanding women for bad behavior. But when men act badly, Ben coddles the men, tells them that it's okay. Now, this is very, very clear that psychologically this is going back to his childhood, because Ben discusses how his father was also very, very hard. So Ben's overcorrecting. He's trying to show men that it's okay, because I think that he was told it was not okay his whole life. So now he's got this weird thing where he's trying to validate everybody else and make it okay, but it's actually not okay. To me, I never liked Ben. Check the tapes. I never thought he was attractive. I didn't find him in any way just cool. I thought it was weird from the beginning that him and Amanda did skinny dip together. And I would like to go on record and allegedly say that I actually do think something happened inappropriate with them, even if it was a look, even if it was a passing glance. I think that there was some moment in time where Amanda and Ben did have an unspoken connection, flirtation, secret, something. I actually do. I actually freaking do. And I wonder if they pushed to get him on the show because Amanda maybe positioned Ben to be the West. Like maybe she was just like stacking the bench for her to be like, okay, any of these guys, Jesse Solomon would have been one, West would have been one. I mean, I'm not even going to rule out Carl at this point, that she would have potentially made it work with Carl if she had to. Even though Carl and Amanda are actually like the same type of person, I don't think anything would get done in that relationship. Someone's got to be the alpha. But wow, I thought Ben and Bailey, that was so great. So, so great. They did bring Levi out, and it made me think, I do actually think Levi is going to come back next season with Bailey. My predictions is that Summer House is going to be Bailey, Ben, Sabrina, Jesse, leave Amanda. No, would Amanda and Bailey be in the same? No. I believe Sarah is out. Sierra is out 1000%. She's going Dancing with the Stars. She's going Love Island. She's probably doing other things. I believe Kyle, Lindsay, and Carl are all going to be out of the new season of Summer House, but they will pop in as friends of one weekend apiece. And they're going to do kind of like a hybrid season where the OGs come in for appearances, but they don't stay there for the whole summer. There's going to be a new house this year that's just down the street from the old Summer House. So it is going to be a new era. I would have definitely put money that KJ and Dara were going to be in the Summer House, but I actually do not think that they're going to be in the Summer House now. I think that they will both be out. If KJ leaves on his own accord, there's a room for Dara to come in. Wow, you guys, if Dara, Sabrina, Bailey, and Levi became the girls of the house, that's strong. And what about Mia? Mia has got to be in this. She's got to stay involved somewhere because I'm worried that if Sierra doesn't come back, she won't have a place. But she did break up with that guy, Scott. And that's what you do when you're trying to stay on this show. So I think she really wants to be on Bravo. I think they're going to find a place to make her fit. Maybe they'll let her bring a friend in that isn't Sierra. Maybe Sierra does the same thing too, where she goes to visit Mia in the house sometimes. I don't know, you guys. Those are all kind of like my loose predictions for this new season of Summer House, but I can't wait for part 2. I heard that part 2 of the reunion gets way nastier, way meaner. So buckle up. The people that were not happy with Sierra with the comment where she said, "Oh, I'm going to put dirt on them." Who cares? You guys, pull up your big girl panties. Like, if you can't handle that, then if you can't handle the heat, get out of the freaking kitchen. I'm serious. Like, if you can't handle the Summer House reunion, then get the frick out off the set. Get off the set. Exit stage left, which I think Amanda actually does leave. I thought it was crazy her looking over at West at the nudes. I thought it was crazy that she even had to be the victim in that moment. Like, oh, you didn't send me any nudes. I just thought the whole thing is crazy. I really do wonder what she's doing here. But all right, you guys, that was really my top 5 most talked about moments of the week there. I really, really I'm so excited for the future, you guys. Like, there's so much good reality TV coming up. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Last night's episode, you guys, with Liz, what the heck was going on with her? Another allegedly, I'm going to say substances. Like, substances are always the secret cast member of all of these shows. Back from Jersey Shore, Summer House, of course, has always had that. Even Real Houses of Beverly Hills, there's been rumors. Winter House, we know there were substances on there. I'm trying to think what other shows that we just like know for sure. I mean, obviously we know Southern Charm too, Vanderpump Rules. I mean, you guys, substances are a big part of all of these people's behavior. So all right, before I let you guys go, I just want to say fuck Danny Bucco. I didn't get a chance to really dissect even more of his crazy behavior, but I will be talking more about Nia next week because she's about to have that part where she's blocking Lala like a linebacker from speaking to Danny in Wednesday's episode. So I will be seated for that. So, all right, I will let you guys go, but have the best week ever. And that Bella Talks TV new episodes will be coming out and recording on Mondays all summer. And then I'm thinking about doing a later in the week, Love Island, whatever. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So just stay tuned, rate, review, share the episode, and tell your friends. All right. Ciao, Bellas. Have a great day.